Okay, everyone, we're going to go over the problems that you're going to do for homework, but I want you to be able to have this video as a resource. So let's look at number 3. That was one of them we didn't do in class. So this is a subtraction problem. So the one thing we do with the subtraction is we distribute that negative. So the first thing that happens is this will become a plus. If you distribute the negative here, this becomes a plus. And then that would change to a minus. So this is a subtraction problem that we're changing to addition. So then I just line everything up, and I'll say plus 3x, and now this is a minus 9, so then minus 9. So 5x plus 3x is 8x, 1 minus 9, negative 8. Okay, we're going to hold off on number 4. We can do that one in class, so let's keep going on through the ones that I wanted y'all to do. So the next problem, I believe, is number 7. Alright, so looking at number 7, okay, this is just double distribute. Alright, and we can distribute here, right? 6x times 2x, that is 12x squared. Distribute here, 6x times 5 is plus 30x, right? And then we can, let me change colors right here. We can distribute negative 1 times 2 is negative 2x, and I like lining it up like that. And then negative 1 times 5, minus 5. So you get 12x squared. That comes down 30 plus negative 2 is 28x. Then we get minus 5. Alright. Let's see, number 8. Let's go on to number 16. Okay. So number 16, this is an easy trinomial. So that means we're going to do factors of C. Remember, this is your C term, this is your B term, and this is your A term. Factors of C, which is 18, that add up to B, which is negative 9. And our two factors are going to be 6 and 3, because 6 plus 3 gives you 9. And the thing that might help you is when you go through your factors, you can kind of say, alright, what's my factors? 1 and 18. There's no way I can get 9 out of that. Easy one to go to is 2 and 9, but the most you can get, or the least you can get, is 7 and 11. And then you just got to think, what else makes 18? 6 and 3. So use that. However, this is negative, so one of these has to be negative or both of them. Since this is positive, they'd have to both be negative, because a negative times the negative would give you a positive, and negative 6 plus negative 3 gives you negative 9. So x minus 6 and x minus 3 are your answers. Alright, look at 18. Grouping. Very basic. 4 terms. Group them together, then factor out the GCF. This is x cubed, this is x squared, so we can take out x squared. We took 2 out of 3, so that leaves us with a single x. We took the x squared completely out, so that's just 7. On this one, we've got negative 2, negative 14, no variable. So we can take out a negative 2. Important part here is if you take a negative out, that's going to change that to a plus. So since we took 2 out there, that's going to be x plus negative 2 out of 14, 7. And then you make your new binomial by writing x squared minus 2 and x plus 7. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that's right. X squared minus 2 and then x plus 7. And that's it. Next problem, number 20. This is a hard trinomial where a is not equal 1. So we got to go through our steps. A times c, which is negative 12. Break it down. That's your new little term there. What times what gives you a times c. But then it's still the same. What plus what would add to x. And the number here is 1. So what times what would give me negative 12 but add up to 1? So you can come over here, kind of write your factors out, and think, oh, well, 2 and 6, no, I can only get 4 and 8. What about 3 and 4? 3 times 4 is 12, yes, and then I could subtract 3 from 4 and I'd end up with positive 1, so we need it to be negative 3. So we could say negative 3 and 4, and negative 3 plus 4 gives us 1. So now we have to break up that b term. So we say 6x squared minus 3x plus 4x minus 2. And then you group everything. Since there's 4 terms now, we group it. Let's see, 6 and 3, we can take out 3. That's kind of hard to see there, isn't it? Let's see. Let's do this guy. So 6 and 3, we can take out 3. X squared and x, we can take out an x. 6 out of 3 gives you 2, and x out of x squared gives you an x. Minus, the 3's gone, the x gone, 3x is gone completely, so we get 1. Then over here, we have plus 4x, so 4x and negative 2, we can take out, between 4 and 2, we can take out a positive 2. We'll have 2x minus 1. They match. This term and this term will make a new binomial. So you get 3x plus 2 and 2x minus 1. And that's your answer. So let's keep going on to our mixed factoring part. And if we look here, oh, sorry. Let's see, let's get it just right. There we go. All right. So mixed factoring. So here's another hard one. We can't take anything out of 8, 2, and 3, so we got to do 8 times c. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24, but it's going to add up to negative 2. So you might say, all right, negative 24, what are my factors? You might think 8 and 3, but you know that could only give you 5 or 11. But then you might say, oh, 6 and 4. 6, 12, 18, 24, that gives you the factors. So, but one of these needs to be negative. Since the numbers, when you add them together, is negative, that needs to be negative. So we get negative 6 and 4, negative 6 and 4. Okay, so break up the b term. We'll get 8x squared minus 6x. There we go. Plus 4x minus 3. Now, the way I have these is going to be a little different to group. Group them together. Alright, the common term between 8 and 6 is going to be 2. And I can take out an x also. Alright, so after that, 2 out of 8, you get 4. X out of x squared, you get x. Minus 2 out of 6 is 3. Now if you look, this already matches that. So that means that the only greatest common factor that these two terms have here is 1. You can factor out a 1 and leave behind everything the same. So your final answer over here would be, I'm going to kind of write this to the side over here, 2x plus 1, this term and this term, and 4x minus 3. And that's it. So you got a 8 times c, break up your b term using these factors, factor by grouping, and you have your answer. Now this only happened because a right here does not equal 1, and you can't factor anything out here. Compared to this one, like we did in class, where we could take the 2 out and say x squared minus 5x minus 14. And then we could factor it. What times what equals negative 14, what plus what equals negative 5. Okay, so you could actually go through and factor that again. But here you couldn't. You couldn't take anything out of 8, 2, and 3. 23, this looks like it might be a difference of 2 squares because it's 2 terms. But actually, this is not a square. 5 is not a square. So the only thing you can do here is a GCF. So what's in common here? There's only an in here, no variables, so I can only take out 5 here and here. So we take 5, we'll have n squared, minus 45 divided by 5 is 9. You should be able to see now on 24 that this is a grouping problem. Since it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Group your terms together. So let's see what's in common. All right, 4 and 12, we can actually take out 4, the whole thing right there. X cubed and x squared, we can actually take out x squared. Sorry about that little piece right there. Let's see if my board wants to cooperate. All right, so then we can take out 4. The 4 goes away. It's gone. We can take x squared out of x cubed. That leaves it with the x. 4 out of 12. That's going to leave us minus 3. And we took the x squared out, so that goes away. Now here, we get negative 5 and 15. No variables, so we can't take out a variable. But we get 5 and 15 in this negative, so we're going to take out the negative. That's going to change the sign. And between 5 and 15, we can actually take out 5. 5 divided by 5 is x. Since we took out a negative, it changes signs. 5 out of 15 is 3. Combine this term and this term, you wind up with 4x squared minus 5. Sorry, that little piece shouldn't be there. And x minus 3. And I'm going to erase a little bit here. Look at our last one. Alright, so this one is a equals 1. So this is an easy one. Set it up. What times what gives you negative 28? What plus what gives you negative 12? Alright, so let's see. Factors of negative 28, that would give you negative 12. So you can come out here and say, alright, there's 28. Well, there's 7 and 4. Can't get 12 out of that. And then you have to check. Alright, it's even. 2 and 14. Can I get 12 out of that? Yeah, if I subtracted 14 from 2, I can get negative 12. So make that negative. 2 and negative 14. 2 and negative 14. X plus 2. And x minus 14. And that's it. You're done there.